Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlog. My San Francisco 49ers have the 30th selection of the 2014 NFL Draft. Now we went 12-4 last season and clawed our way into the playoffs, winning a good wild card matchup against the Green Bay Packers, then beating the Carolina Panthers in the divisional round, but then losing to the eventual Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, the same division, NFC West division. I think it's going to be the most competitive year, the most competitive division this upcoming season because they had some good teams upcoming, especially with Arizona had a 10-6 season, and let's not forget about St. Louis. They did go 7-9, but they lost quarterback Sam Bradford, who will be back this upcoming year. So this is going to be a tough season for my San Francisco 49ers, and even in the NFC West division, even with the Seattle Seahawks. Now let's start off with their quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Now he had a pretty decent season, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, just under 3,200 yards passing, but he did well rush for over 500 yards and 4 scores on the ground. He was a little bit of a fantasy football disappointment because a lot of people, including myself, especially myself, had high hopes for Colin Kaepernick this upcoming season. I thought he had MVP. He could be on a race for the MVP award last season because I thought because what he did back in 2012 when he actually led the team to the Super Bowl, I thought he had a good potential for the next upcoming years. But I still think he had a decent season. But one particular player who had a little bit of a disappointment of a year was Michael Crabtree, 284 yards receiving last season, and leading the way at receiver was Anquan Boldin. They re-signed him, and I'm very happy with that. I think that was a good signing. But Michael Crabtree's going to have to step it up this year, and that was part of the reason why my Niners was actually 30th in the league in passing yards, and I think they're going to need to improve at that. Now, for this particular selection, they could be looking at a wide receiver with this one just to work well in a good rotation and have some good collaboration. Anquan Boldin's actually closing out to his closing years, and Michael Crabtree had a disappointing year. The Niners might actually go with the receiver with their first round choice. Now, a couple of rumors have been spreading around that they could be looking for a defensive lineman because of the issues with Aldon Smith, but he's actually still on the roster. And I still think they have some good players on that D-line with Justin Smith, Ray McDonald. Let's not forget about the other linebacker, Ahmad Brooks, who had 8.5 sacks last season and made it to the Pro Bowl. And let's not forget about Glenn Dorsey, who had 41 tackles last season, 2 sacks to help out that D-line. I think we have a pretty good, solid D-line. And let's not forget about Cornelius Carradine, their draft pick a year ago from Florida State. He's entering his second season. He's another young player that I have my eyes on defense. Hopefully he can step it up this upcoming season. Another position that they could be looking at is a cornerback. Now, I do like Tremaine Brock and Chris Culliver. That's a pretty good duo, but they have a great supporting cast in the linebackers and Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, who's coming back from a knee injury. Now, I already mentioned Ahmad Brooks and Aldon Smith. They have a good core around them in that front seven. That's why the cornerbacks actually produce well. But Tremaine Brock and Chris Culliver, I'm not doubting them. I still think they're good particular players, but I think they could address the depth at cornerback with this one because the backups aren't looking too good. With Parrish Cox, who only had 5 tackles last season, I think they can improve and increase the depth at cornerback. And for this selection, I might have to go with the cornerback and Jason Verrett out of TCU. He's a good player, co-defensive player of the year of the Big 12 Conference. He has good cover skills, excellent speed. I think he could be a great cover corner and possibly start right away for even over Chris Culliver and Tremaine Brock, and even work in a good rotation. He can be used in different nickelback situations and even starting at cornerback. Like I said, I think this could be help out increase the depth at this particular position. Now, the other positions like wide receiver and D lineman, that is those are part of the reason why we have some good solid players. And I think that I'm looking at also at Quentin Patton at the receiver position, but I think that we can still increase the depth at each position. I think we have some solid players, and that's more of a fan information, a fan opinion, not too much of an analyst opinion that I'm giving you, more of a fan opinion. But I still think that we have some good solid players on each of these levels, the defensive line, the wide receivers, and the cornerbacks. But I still think the area that we need more depth is at cornerback, and Jason Verrett is my guy. Now, the guy who I think they're going to select, I think they're going to go with the receiver with this one, and Allen Robinson out of Penn State. He's an excellent leader. He had a great career as a Nittany Lion, sticking with the team, shows his loyalty. He has great character, and I think he could actually mesh well with Colin Kaepernick, and I think that Jim Harbaugh will actually produce well with him and actually fall in love with him right away. He's a true leader. He understands that he's going to have to wait for his time, but when his time comes, he will be ready, and he showed that at Penn State, even with a true freshman quarterback with Christian Hackenberg, still had over 1,200 yards receiving last season as a Nittany Lion, as a senior. Great career, and I think that the San Francisco 49ers will select him at pick number 30, but who I think they should select is Jason Verrett out of TCU. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is tomorrow. I only have 2 more videos for my first round mock draft videos, and I'm just going to continue on with tomorrow with pick number 31, belonging to the Denver Broncos. Thank you for watching today's vlog. From Pro Football Exclusive, I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.